Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Are we all ready? Are we settled? We're not quite settled. Hold on. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I give you Eric Rubin and the Troubadour's Mustache!
Por todo reír, el mundo canto, busco, luego todos sabemos reír. And look at all the faces here around the room. Faces of past and present, and people who I've met throughout my life. You, for example, stole money from me. And you tried to steal my wife, remember? Did you come together? The past, it haunts us nightly. And the people who we were. The lover, the hater, the dancer, the skater. The far one, the near one, the straight one, the queer one, the young one, the old one, the shy one, the bold one, combined like so much money to fertilize our present with the feet planted like roots deep inside the earth. So, my friends, together, together, we do give birth. So good to be here with you tonight, my friends. We're going to go on a journey tonight together, my friends. A journey of journeys. To 5 continents, 4 countries, 3 states. 2 cities, and to Eric's parents' house. My name is Eric Carlos Eric. I am a Latin character, culturally appropriated by Eric, that he thinks it's okay to do because he spent time living in Latin America. In a minute, I'm going to introduce our protagonista. His name is Eric. He's a very sensitive being. I need you to take care with him. He's going to do a lot of oversharing. So there are consent forms under your chairs. Please go ahead and pull them out and sign them. Go ahead. Oh shit. I forgot to put them in. Just put your hand up if you're cool with that. Everyone's up, in, good. All right, share, good. There's a concept called ahimsa. It means non-violence. Gandhi used to do a lot of ahimsa. Eric is a lot like Gandhi. Everyone take a deep breath in here together. Come on. Hold it deeper. All the way in. All the way in. All the way in. Now let go. that feel nice? Good. Good. I want you all to do no harm to each other, to yourselves. Yes? Now look around you. If someone around you might cause you harm during the course of the show, I want you to get up and move. Yeah? Good. Then I want you to turn to someone next to you and share your deepest, darkest secret. Preferably someone you've never met. Go ahead, go on. Good. Get it off your chest. Doesn't that feel nice? Now we're going to do a quick guided visualization, so close your eyes. Your eyes are open, darling. Trust issues, I understand. Good. See the end of the night. We keep the end of the night in mind, just like Gandhi. Just like Eric. The show is going really well. Your eyes are open, so close. Feel it. Come on! Experiment. You see the end of the night, it feels good. You're standing in blood and you feel so good. How does it feel inside? You get up, you walk to the door. Oh, there's Wendy and Michelle and Eric. You shake their hands, maybe. Okay, good. How does that feel? Maybe you give them a kiss on the lips. Maybe you offer them some money. Nice. You tell them where is the after party and then you go there and you wait. Good. Eyes closed. Eric is about 45 minutes late, but it's okay. Because you're patient. Yes, good. All right, now it's 2 years later, and you've just had your second kid, and Eric's career is still not taking off really in the arts. but you're so patient, and you make so much money. Good. Now open your eyes. All right. Good, my friends. And we're ready to begin. I will be here for you throughout the night. It's going to get weird. And it's going to get very sweaty. Just call out my name. We need a safe word for that. What's a good safe word, anyone?
Love.
Did you say love? Love is a safe word.
Sorry.
I like it. Love is the safe word. Oh, perdido en el campo, por vida de Eliseo. That's the end of that scene, you can clap. When you took a chance, continue to talk to them for a second because everything needs a little bit of time to change. Okay? Talking, not too much. Just a little bit.
Where was that? Where is it? From my college minor.
August 14th, 2014, I received an email from the Insight Meditation Society in Barre, Massachusetts. The email said, "Dear Eric, you have been accepted off the wait list into a 3-month silent meditation retreat that starts in 2 weeks in Barre, Massachusetts." Now, I've been living in Washington, D.C. for about 8 years. Yeah. And, my life was pretty good on paper, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of, the sort of bachelor's version of American dream of what straight-ish white privilege can bring you. Like, I was doing pretty good, right? I had a job as like a program director at a cool nonprofit. I lived in the former Latvian embassy, right? Which is like transformed into a house with like urban farmers living in it, and like, you know, burners and DJs, and cool friends. But, like so many Americans, I had a vacuous hole inside me. It's not funny. A hole full of self-loathing that, like most, I tried psychotherapy, I tried jogging. And it resulted to what most Americans result to, which is heavy self-medication with drugs and sex, right? Am I right? Am I right? No? Woo! A lot of days I'd leave work like a little bit early, and I'd get to a hotel bar across the way that was particularly depressing. But they did have a happy hour. Seems there's like no limits on who's allowed to have like a happy hour, regardless of how depressing the place is. And I'm taking myself into a stupor. My dating life, I've been in like a series of 3 to 5 month relationships. They all crashed and burned. And then I would find myself falling into what I like to refer to as a Tinder hole. You guys may have heard about a K-hole, which is where you do too much of the drug ketamine. It's like a horse. Yeah, there we go. That's a knowing laugh. That's a knowing laugh. It's a horse tranquilizer. It's cool. If you do too much of it, you kind of dissociate back into this like third-person view of your life. And with the Tinder hole, is when you're in a bar and you're drinking yourself into a stupor and your thumb just starts uncontrollably swirling white and you can't really stop it until somebody matches with you, texts you, and agrees to meet with you that night. It's pretty high level shit. I was in a good place, safe to say. And I realized that my life, if I didn't make a drastic change, was going to spiral down in a terrible stream of alcoholism and like a fledgling sex and love addiction that I was working on. So it was pretty cool. I had things were going on. Is this thing on?
Go forth now, Mr. Go forth now, Mr. Go forth. Go forth now, Mr. Go forth now, Mr. Go forth. Go forth now, Mr. Go forth now, Mr.
Gonna die here, waiting for your life to start. Oh, you can listen to your liver that's screaming at you. Hey, come on, be smart! Go to Thailand, my land, Viceland, Iceland, Niceland. You can join a caravan, those in You can travel by land or travel by water, but to stay here. Well, it is a non-starter. Go forth now, Mr. Golden Forth now, fast. So, packed up my shit, gave 2 weeks notice, said bye to my friends, sold what I could, and I headed off into silence. Now, I've been practicing meditation, so it wasn't like strange to me. But, first week went all right, second week, third rate. And I realized at some point that I had signed up for a voluntary prison. Oh God. 2 meals a day, there's no speaking, you get to talk twice a week for 15 minutes, most of which I spend whimpering. And it was 10 hours a day, sit, walk, meditation. There's about 120 of us. And the first day I was like, I'm gonna talk to everybody. Because I gotta know what their voice sounds like, because once we're in silence, if I don't know, I'm gonna make up what their voice sounds like. That's a problem. But there's 2 groups of 6-weekers and 1 group of elite 3-monthers. When the second group of 6-weekers arrived, there was a beautiful lady in the group. And she was like crusty punk, and I wrote this whole story about her in my head. It was like, she teaches kids, and she's an artist, and she's got this really sensual voice. Of course, none of that was true. But every day she'd go out on the hike around this 3-mile loop that you could go out on, right? There was this 3-mile loop, and that was like the one escape from Alcatraz. It was beautiful, like the fall would descend on New England. And she'd go out and be like, well, looks like it's time for my daily constitutional. And I'd go the opposite way around the loop, and we'd see each other in the distance. And as we approached each other, things slowed down. Of course, we obeyed protocol. Our eyes passed and we made no contact. Oh, so nice. What passes for a good time when you're in sensory deprivation? Oh, God. But there was this farm out there, and there were these goats on the farm, and the goats were fucking awesome. All right, like every once in a while they would be chilling, right, chewing their whatever, and then 2 of them would just go up on their back legs, slow motion, and then go crack and crack their heads together like it was nothing, and then just be like, that was pretty cool. Nice scalp, dude. But it's a lie that when you're doing 3 months of silent meditation, your mind goes silent. In fact, a lot comes up if you don't have a cell phone. And I had to devise my own strategies because meditation was all right, but it wasn't working for me. So sometimes when I was out on the loop, just me and the goats, I exercised my own type of strategy. That wasn't quite keeping with the orthodoxy of the center.
You can put your hands together.
Different voices in our head. They tell us how to live and how to get our daily bread. Or some of them, they keep us trapped in different pages. Holding us, holding up books close so we can't read the pages. Here's the solution I propose.
Alright, stop laughing, it's really hard to hear you. Let's do
Yeah, so here's the solution that I propose. You gotta punch those fucking voices in the motherfucking nose. But sometimes it's hard to punch what you can't see. Another solution works more eloquently. The next time the voices got you heavy like lead, you gotta rap battle. The voices in your head. What? Rap battle. The voices in your head. What? Rap battle. The voices in your head.
Wrong boy.
Is the voice of your mother. How come he can't be more like your brother? Nice job, kids, grandchildren. He's got a vision in the life that he's building. This comedy thing, it's fun. It's also possibly spent too much time in the sun. I never expected much from you. You're too scattered to do the things you want to do, but anyways, this was my voice when you were 3 or 4. It's not even my voice anymore.
No, it's more. It's become your voice. Now you gotta make your own choice. Rap battle. Rap battle. The voices in your head. Yeah, rap battle. The voices in your head.
The voices in your head. Rap battle. The voices in your head.
Yo, mama, I got out of my head. Why can I still hear you when I wake up in my bed? It's 4 in the morning without any warning. Your desperate eyes keep penetrating into my psyche. You are manipulating. I decide, but I decide what I leave behind. I slay all the dragons of the voices of my mind. And mama, I love you just the way you are. I just choose to tie my wagon to a very different star.
Rap battle. The voices in your head. Rap battle.
The voices in your head. Rap battle. voices in your head, rap back. The voices in your head.
All right, I'm telling you, it's the voice of society. And music lasts of sobriety. Are you saving for retirement? Are you in an environment to grow old and have a time kissing? Open your ears wide and listen. Have you seen your peers on Facebook? They've got 401ks and babies, so have a good look. Get yourself an office and get yourself a boss. This creative vision is a dirt out of control. Scrap battle. The voices in your head, rap battle.
The voices in your head, rap battle. The voices in your head, rap battle.
Yeah.
The voices in your head,
Rap back. Yeah. Rap battle. Voices in your head, rap battle. Voices. Dude. And the goats were like so feeling me, man. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Round 3.
Okay, you got the right idea. You got the right idea. The voices in your head.
the voices in your head, rap battle. The voices in your head, rap battle. The voices in your head, rap battle.
I'm the voice that gets you when you're tired. I've been fucking with you so long, it's hard to be inspired. I'm here so you don't make mistakes. When you take risks, my whole body shakes. I'm the voice of doubt, because you and I know what you're really all about, huh? Now you think you're suddenly gonna go wings and fly, your dreams die, and then the chorus sings up high, you're a joke, you're a joke, you're a motherfucking joke, you're a joke, you're a joke, you're a joke. Dude, at this point, the ghosts were going fucking wild. Let's get that voice, man. Get that! Got that voice, man! Well, I take my sword out of the sheath, and I pick that fucking voice out of my motherfucking teeth, and then I take a poo, and then I swish it underneath, and then I sing this next to kin a memorial wreath, and then I invite my new girlfriends to dance on its grave, and then we all start to do the wave. I take a bottle, put those voices in the bottle, put the track in the reverse, and I start
Rock rap now. The voices in your head.
The voices in your head, rap battle. The voices in your head, rap battle. The voices in your head,
rap battle.
the voices in your head.
So I didn't achieve enlightenment. 3 months in. I did get very sweaty though. It's gonna get a lot sweatier, guys, so if you're ready. I did decide to go to Burma though. I was like, let's double down. If 3 months wasn't enough, what's another month in Burma, the seat of things, right? So I doubled down, I went to Burma, and it didn't work. Instead of getting up at 4 in the morning, we got up at 3 in the morning. We went to bed at like midnight instead of 10. It was just like a whole lot more sitting in my own self-loathing. And it, you know, so which is fun. I mean, it became a really fun pastime, but I was like, maybe it's time to try something else. So I started traveling. I met this woman, you're starting to see a theme. Her name was Teresa. She was a Spanish woman, using that voice too much. And she was younger than me, so I had to like pull out all the punches, right? And I was like, this is a journey of exploration. I'm eat, pray, loving, right? So I did all this like tantric shit. I was like, I'm an actor, I gotta pull out all the punches. So I was like, we'll do some role play, right? And she was like really into these like heteronormative, like gendered role play scenarios. So it was like cop and prostitute, and like professor and student. I was like, really? That's what you wanna do? Okay. And she was really into the Doors. What? She was into the Doors. She was younger. So I was like Jim Morrison sometimes. God is his own strong. Whatever it took. We would film these things, right? Because like, what's hotter than making porn of yourself, right? Am I right? Am I right? Wrong. Have you ever seen yourself on a porn? In a porn? It's the scariest thing you've ever seen, right? I was like, I looked like a dying chicken. It was like, screen and save her. I'm doing that. But with all this practice we were doing, I did get pretty good. I'm a master, you might say, in the sacred art of dirty talk. Stop doing that. Come home after a long night at work. Day at work, the candles all around you. Candles all around you. What's that smell? Incense in the air. Who's running around you? Who's running around you? A lobster tail. Those crickety crack. This shellfish is an out easy. I lay you down on the sofa bed. I got the crazy ideas all going through my head. Now I'll do a little dance, a candy for your eyes. My fingers tick dance on your thighs. Now I'll lean closer so that you can hear. I'll start to do a little dirty. What am I talking about? Dirty talk. I mean to be crude. Dirty talk, it's all about that attitude. And here's a sample. I'm so deep inside you right now. Oh shit. Shut up. Shut up. I hate it. You slut. We climb up high to the mountain top. We've been hiking all day, so it's time to stop. We'll check in, talk about how the day went. You made the fire, I pitched my tent. Take a sniff. We both take a drag. Zip, 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 zip inside my sleeping bag. Before you run, have to walk. Before you let go of you, got to dirt and talk. What am I talking about? I need to be good. All about that attitude. Here's another sample. Oh, no. Pull your hair. Pull it. Slap your ass. Slap it. Just slap. Oh, shit. I love you? Oh, shit. Comfort. Shut your door. Shut your door. Shut your Sweetie, why are you crying? Cucumber? What did we say? What was the safe word? What was it? Love. Keep breathing, my friends. Everybody take a deep breath in. It's gonna get a whole lot weirder and a whole lot sweatier, so you better fucking breathe. So 2 weeks of a traveling relationship is like 6 months of a real relationship, and we'd seen each other shit, piss, vomit, mostly me. And we were kind of like oil and vinegar. There's a lot of fighting that happened. It just was like, no, this is not. She went south, I went north. I bought a bicycle. It was March, which is also the hottest month ever in Asia. It's like 110 degrees every day. And decided to cycle from Bangkok to Chiang Mai in the north. This is also the season when the Burmese and Thai in the north burn off the excess in their of their crops. So you've got this like thick, noxious smoke in the air up there. So there's me, Whitey, like bicycling down the highway, which is not safe, in the hottest month of the year, through noxious smoke fumes, like stopped in a bunch of these Thai villages that were like really, there was no foreigners around. It was like the real Thailand, which means no one speaks English, and there's no hotels, and the food, like real Thai food, is very different from the food they serve white people normally. So it was a rough situation. But during this time, I had a lot of things come up for me. Memories. I was by myself. Memories from high school. See, I had this nickname back in high school. It was Boner. Come on, everybody, say it with me. Go ahead. Boner. Now say it a lot meaner. Go ahead, you can do it. Yeah. I'd be walking down the hallway, high school, and then JT Toma would come out. He was this real piece of shit guy. You guys all probably had one in high school. Hey, what's up, Boner? Bone, take the bone. He's got the bone. I would melt into this pool of shame. The person I was talking to would just kind of like keep walking, like, oh God. I do not want to be associated with that. And everyone caught on. They were like, oh man, you call that guy Boner? He really freaks out. So everyone started calling me that. At some point they could just like open their mouth and look at me, and I'd be like, I know, I'm a Boner. I'm a dick. I'd be out on the street meeting a stranger, total stranger. They'd be like, hey, do you have the lights? Or I'm like, I know. Cock and balls, I know, cock and balls, 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 okay. That's right.
Erection protection, erection protection, erection protection, erection protection, erection protection, protection, erection protection, erection protection, erection protection, erection
we meet out in the street. I say hey, because that's how I greet. I say wow, you've got really nice feet. You're a vegetarian, I like to eat meat. You're like, oh cool, hey, how's it going?
But what I hear is, man, you're super boring.
I climb back inside my clam shell and retreat. Erection, projection, got me beat. I met the Dalai Lama. He was chill just like Obama. Gave a talk about karma. He killed that room just like Osama. I stuck around afterward from meeting and greet. She was like, hey, I don't think I met you. What's your name? I heard
You'll never be free of your shame.
He was like, oh man, I don't think we've met yet. I heard
you're the reason I had to leave Tibet.
left the room staring down the field. Erection, projection, you got me beat. Then one day, I started to discover I had to be my own best lover. I had to make love to my own body. I had to use meditation just like karate. I had to make a home inside. I had to make a home inside. I had to make a home inside. Yeah. Oh my God. I made balls and halls out of the balls. You made house paint out of the taint. I made a nice bed out of the head. I made a live raft out of the shaft. I made a home inside the bones. I made a home inside the bones. Oh, I made a nice chair
Out of the baby hair.
window pane out of the veins. I'm erection, a projection, set me free. Erection, projection, erection, projection,
Erection, projection, erection,
Keep it going now, buddy. Excuse me, does someone have a program? Does anyone have a program here? Please. Oh, thank you so much. Hey, how are you? What is this? So, where in the program does it say that straightish white guy cries about high school and then talks about dicks for like an hour and a half? Oh, I don't see it because it's not in the program. What the fuck? My grandma Helen was an amazing woman. I also apologize for the lack of a dance belt. My grandma Helen was an amazing woman. She was segue. She worked as a kindergarten teacher for like years. She took care of so many kids. She raised my father, who's like pretty awesome. And but towards the end of her life, she grew a bit estranged and bitter from a lot of the family. This can happen with people as they grow older. She felt like she had really showed up for life, and life kind of hadn't shown up for her. But there was one exception, which was me and my brother. She would come over to our house. We'd have dinner. She ate like a snail. Like dinner would take 4.5 hours, but it didn't matter. And my brother would tease her. We'd like steal her fork. She'd look around, she'd be like, wait a second. She had these amazing catchphrases. She'd be like, I'm gonna shoot someone in a minute. Or if my mother had put salt in the food, she'd be like, what? I'm gonna get up on the table and dance in a second. After dinner, without fail, she would make me and my brother take the guitar out and sing songs. She'd be like, play some music for me. I love it when you boys sing. Now, my brother is completely tone deaf and has no rhythm. Sorry, Sean, it's true. And at the time, I was just learning guitar. We knew like one song by the Indigo Girls and another by like Def Leppard or something. But it didn't matter, right? It didn't matter what came out of our mouths. She was just like, sing, just play something beautiful. Pour some sugar on me. Go ahead and pour it on me now. And her hands would turn to the rhythm like this. Pour, yes, pour it on, keep pouring. We'd sing these songs like multiple times. When in my mid-20s, I lived in Costa Rica for several years, and that's when I learned and heard that my grandmother had passed away. And I came back for the funeral, and there was an open casket. And as I saw her laying there, I could see those hands. I could see her hands. And I just started to bawl, like completely. My body was convulsing with tears because I realized that those hands represented unconditional love. And I realized that it was a kind of love that I had never experienced prior, and that I might never, ever experience again. Had to keep, eat, pray, loving my way around Asia. And where does a journey go but Bali, Indonesia? Now, Bali, Indonesia also happens to be the home of an incredible, diverse, amazing, rich Balinese Hindu culture with dance and mask making and traditions. And there's this like neo-colonial outcropping of whiteys that are there to like explore themselves. And that's the part that I dove into with gusto. I ecstatic danced. I did shamanic breath work. When did we stop? And there I met the pinnacle of masculinity, the enlightened male. I'm Mr. Polyamorous, not because the glamorous got a necklace made of amethyst. What? My dance, ecstatic. My mood's erratic. My flirting is constant, like crack to a nerd. I once held eye contact for 18 straight days. The shape of my house and never ceases to amaze. I coach people how to let go of old habits. I once hollowed out and had sex with a raw cabbage and white male. I'm busy. My sheets are 357 count silk. My rubber doll Teresa lactates coconut milk. I've opened the chakra that's housed in my neck. Just don't tell anybody I've got a day job in tech. I'll meet your tarot cards while I'm sucking on your toes. I'm gender bender slender, we can wear the same clothes. I know a place in the desert where the sacred cactus grows. Tonight and nail. My breath, shamanic. My colon cleanse colonic. My smile's ironic. My masturbation chronic. I wanna take you higher. Let's start with some breath of fire. Oh, here we go. Hold on. You guys, is there a light shooting out my head right now? I think I just opened my crown chakra. Oh, this is not supposed to happen. It's not. Fuck.
Enlightened male.
They say ayahuasca is supposed to find you. It's supposed to come calling when you're ready. But I was sick of waiting by the phone for this particular plant-based medicine. My friend who was supposed to do it with me in Bali, she backed out at the last minute after seeing the shaman's webpage. But I was all in. I was like, man, I've been sitting on a cushion for 4 months. I've done every kind of breathing and sexual healing. And I felt like the same dude. It's like, all right, ayahuasca's like the fast forward button, right? And so like, boop, I'm pushing it. The enclosure where they were having the ceremony on the beaches of Bali was like on lockdown, right? Because Bali, Indonesia, in addition to like this being this weird appropriation of someone else's culture from Peru in this weird neo-colonial context in the middle of like Indonesia, Bali's also like a Hindu bastion in an otherwise Islamic nation of Indonesia, where like small drug offenses are punishable by prison time, extortion, and death. Like they kill white people for using drugs in Bali. So stakes was high. Transported me straight back to my days playing high school football. That's right, high school football. I saw a lot of looks of doubt there in your eyes. I was real bad. We were real bad. And I remember we'd be under the lights on a Friday night, steam coming out of our face masks in suburban Michigan. We put our hands in the middle. We were playing Hazel Tucky that particular night. Hazel Park, AKA Hazel Tucky, known for their excellency in football and racial slurs. And bus stoning. They actually stoned our bus once. We had a lot of Jews on our team. Put our hands in the middle. And it wasn't like, let's get up. It was more like, all right, guys. Let's hope no one gets like a serious spinal injury. How about that? How about that? Okay, go. So it felt a little bit like that, right? We were in this rotunda, and there were all these people dressed in white. Most of them belonged to the sect of humans I not so lovingly call the Yoga Mafia. You know the Yoga Mafia by their beautiful exterior looks, cut-off sleeves, scantily clad bodies, vapid interior, mentally, emotionally, and spiritual, and tendency to utter some weird spiritual jargon at a moment's notice. They habitate in Bali and large swaths of California. So there were lots of red flags, I guess is what I'm saying, but I should have really run the other direction when the shamaness first opened her mouth. Open your eyes.
Welcome to the channel
of the sacred and your hearts. I hope you're ready to get naked now. Get ready for the spiritual intensive. Open your hearts and your minds and your wallets. It's gonna be expensive. I hope you brought cash. We also take cards. I cry out to the spirit gods. Can they hear me? You don't need to fear me. Yoga, Veda, Chi, Buddha. I mingle 16 different religions. When I'm not serving ayahuasca, I drink the blood of pigeons. And it just pops right off. This went on for hours. And they served the shit. These little glasses of brown fluid. It was gross. but it went down. Okay? And then people started flipping the fuck out, right? It is it's called grandmother. Again, in the ancient Amazonian tradition to which no one in the room belonged. Because it's meant to like literally pull things out of you. You're meant to purge both physically and spiritually. And purge. Most people do. 60 people in chorus. Also making weird sounds like. Yeah, if anybody hears that, it's like, people make the weirdest fucking sounds. Dude, this far away from you, right? 60 people, small space, starts having a full emotional release. He's like, that far. Boxed in by humans, I try to go that way, like everything's starting to crowd in on me, and I'm like, oh shit, this is gonna be the longest night. My friend's face pops up, the one who didn't come along. She's like, told you so. Whatever. I reach through these humans, I reach out towards the shaman and say, hey. She sees me, she pulls me into the center of the circle. It's then I realize her intention is to publicly shame me. Hey, look everyone. Eric's having a hard time. Boner's not doing so well. Who told you? Did you research on me? Everyone erupts in the chorus. Boner. Oh, God! She pulls me outside and leaves me alone with the grandmother.
Let go.
I'm like, I know, I understand the concept. I kept opening my mouth, trying to puke. I was like, I couldn't, nothing would come out. I couldn't purge, which means I was holding it all in, all this medicine.
Just let go, man. It's easier to let go.
I saw the contours of this like darkness, this dark viscous fluid that was like passing through me from generations past to future that had nothing to do with me. I saw like my mother's 3 brothers, 8, 10, and 12, who died at the hands of the Nazis before I was ever born, before she was ever born. I saw my grandpa Jack, his little brother who went to the wrong line and he never forgave himself his whole life. I saw my grandma Luba, who paced around their suburban home in Indiana, unable to sleep a single night, being chased by ghosts. And it was big, and it had nothing to do with me. And I was like, and I was like, dude, look what I'm surrounded by right here. I have trust issues, man. You think I'm suddenly gonna let go with all these fucking idiots?
Look, dude, you make this shit, man. Fucking me, come on, job. You out there.
I could feel him pulling on my like organs out through my anus, like when you de-giblet a turkey. You guys ever done that? I was like,
oh, fuck, this is going bad.
And I looked up, and I saw my friend Alima. I just met her on the bus, but she was amazing. She had a smile from ear to ear. This African-American woman from Philly, she was covered in tattoos. She'd been a prison guard for like 20 years and raised a son by herself, and she was like the only real soul for miles, I thought. She came toward me and my body started to relax, and then she fucking morphed. And it was JT Toma. It was like, what's up, owner? Looky who's here. And I was like, oh. And then suddenly there were 2 lines of Yoga Mafia on either side of me. And boom. What's up, boner? Shit, this looks pretty dark for you, man. I could see myself, visualize myself like 7 days later sitting out front of a bodega on like a rocking chair going, turtles, turtles, like a total vegetable. JT Toma looked at me and he said, this is the moment, boner, where we have a dance-off for your soul. he danced. And I danced. Everything I learned in ecstatic dance. Everything I had. And he danced. And I danced. It's the best you got. And the Yoga Mafia totally voted for him. Right? Yeah. And I felt the giblets pulling in. I was like, oh, shoot. In the last ditch effort, I grabbed a hold of JT Tillman and I was like, if I'm going down, you're coming with me. And I started to shake. I shook that motherfucker. I was like, you think this shit? And I shook him. And I shook him. And I shook him. And I shook him. Until he was just like bones and teeth and blood passing through my hands. And I felt the bull. Oh boy. Oh, that's the pancreas. Oh, like this shit. And then at the last second, my hands started to turn. And uncontrollably, it seemed like a rhythm that wasn't there. There's no rhythm. And super hot, sticky sweet. From my hands to my feet now. Grandma, you want to meet grandmother? Absolutely. Hello, it's a pleasure. It's wonderful to meet you.
Oh fuck, what is this shit? What the fuck is this? This is, do you know how expensive transnational flights are these days? This is why I do all my fucking work in Peru, okay? This is bullshit. This is shit.
Listen, my grandson is a very nice boy. A little confused, a little slow to blossom, but I don't think he deserves to have his kishkas pulled out from his anus. Now, would you like to sing a duet?
Sure.
Rubin, Troubadour's mustache. What if you look directly at the sun? You go blind. If you look straight at the heart of a troubadour, it's too much. But if you look just to the right of the sun, you get a nice suntan. And if you just look at the troubadour's mustache, you get very, very horny. So thank you guys very, very much. Thank you everyone for coming out. A huge thank you to Michelle and Wendy who opened tonight. They've been amazing. A huge thank you to our friends here in the light booth who was filling in. To Joe Landini who's not here. To Dan Griffiths who's in China who helped me create this work. To Megan Trowbridge over there who helped with direction. To Nicholas Strube over here who helped with direction, and to Wendy Winaz who helped with direction, and to all of you humans for coming out. So thank you guys so much.